We want to believe that nothing bad will ever happen to us or the people we love. But wishing doesn't always make it so. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of life and death emergencies and the people who come to save us on Rescue 911. We begin on January 31st, 1989 at Durham High School in North Carolina, just before school was about to start.
We had been in the process of remodeling the Math Science building. This was the very first day that we had relocated back to the Math Science building.
Durham High School Principal Dr. Barbara Ellis and her staff were in a long-range planning meeting.
And the former teachers along with us. Sodium borate, a half pound.
Sodium borate, half pound.
In the chem lab, construction workers had dumped all the chemicals together in trash cans. Chemistry teacher Suri Shatila asked Matt Cook and 4 other honor students to help him put things away.
These chemicals were not in good condition. Some of them did not have the tops, some of them didn't have the labels, and we didn't exactly all know what we were dealing with. There was a lot of corrosion everywhere, and so everything needed to be washed and cleaned again. Mr. Shatila was telling us, please be careful, because they're in really bad shape and they look like they were really, really unsafe.
Ironware, 1/4 pound.
Iron wire, 1/4 pound. Lead acetate, 1 pound.
Ammonium chloride, 100 grams.
He didn't give us any sign. He just goes, oh no, and jumped down off the counter and grabbed the vial and ran out of the classroom. We just thought it was a joke because it was smoking. Nobody really understood what happened.
But Suri Shatila knew that the smoking beaker contained sodium metal, a highly volatile substance that can react violently when put in contact with air or water. He ran to get the beaker outside before it exploded.
All right, class. Today we're going to talk about cell.
By then, classes were in session throughout the building. Hundreds of students and teachers were at risk.
Unit of life.
Biology teacher Mary Young was the first to respond to the explosion.
He said, I'm blinded. And at that particular time, I put my arms around him, guided him out, and I kept saying to him, no, you're not, no, you're not. I led him on back to the back of my classroom and held his head over the eye wash.
No one knew quite what had happened, but Mary Young's student ran to the principal's office to get help.
What I could see of his eyes, they didn't appear to be the right color. I was afraid that Mr. Stiller would not be able to see, but I didn't want him to think that.
There's been an accident over in the Math Science building. Call 911, I'm down here.
All right. Emergency?
The call came into 911 at 8:31 a.m.
Can you tell me what's wrong, please? With the secretary, she sounded confused, anxious, and frustrated. It was obvious that the person that called was getting secondhand information and could not give any further help.
Charlie, Rescue 2.
I immediately dispatched Rescue 2.
Rescue 2, Temple.
Rescue 2, nature unknown. Subconscious accident. Durham High School Science Building. Take Med 1 Duke. Med 1 Duke.
All of you, let's go. Let's evacuate.
Toxic fumes had filled the front entrance area of the Math Science building.
Several minutes after the explosion took place, some of the teachers on the first floor of the Science Math building saw the vapors and the fumes, and they immediately started an evacuation out the back door, which took considerable time.
Oh, they're back in the building, yeah. I was trying to flush till the paramedics arrived. He never lost consciousness. You know, he was frustrated, crying, and frightened, and I was too.
When we were evacuated, everyone was taken out to the football field, and people were playing around, you know, because it was just like another fire drill. So it wasn't a lot of chaos. It was just people were talking and everything. When the ambulance drove up, silence covered the field. I wanted to know what was going on.
5 minutes after the call came in, paramedic Robert Lucas and his partner arrived at the scene.
Tell me what happened. Do you have any idea what kind of chemical it was?
I don't know.
What happened?
Nobody was able to tell us exactly what the chemicals were or exactly what had happened. So we had to assume that it was some type of an acid or an alkali and go ahead and remove the patient's clothing to keep any chemicals that were on his clothes at the time from continuing burning into his skin and his chest and back area.
Can you see this at all? No, I see it all.
The patient's eyes were bloodshot and had a gray appearance when we first opened the eyelids and started the irrigation, but it had a crinkled appearance to it. It looked like a wadded up piece of saran wrap.
Somebody get that box for us.
There just wasn't much that could be done for him. The only thing we could do is continue to irrigate and save what was left, but I really didn't believe that he'd ever see again.
I know it hurts. I know it hurts.
I was frightened when I thought about what could possibly have happened. If he had panicked and the vial had exploded in that laboratory, we would have had a chain reaction that would have been tremendous. And it's no doubt that the children who were with him, as well as Mr. Chatilla, would have possibly lost their lives.
When Mr. Chatilla was wheeled out on the stretcher and paramedics were attending to him, it really hit. Everybody was really concerned. I couldn't believe that it had happened. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. All I wanted to say was, thank you, Mr. Chatilla, for saving our lives, So everybody it was a really emotional time.
So many people come every day.
Less than a year later, Suri Chatila's sight has almost returned to normal. His own quick thinking may have saved many lives, but it was the prompt action of his fellow teacher, Mary Young, that saved his eyesight.
The one thing I learned after this accident is how many people come forward and how many people are so friendly and so helpful to me. I never estimated that I have so many friends who are inquisitive about my welfare and about my safety. That is the greatest pleasure.
It indeed takes a very special person to place the lives of others before your very own. And that's what happened on January 31st. Mr. Chatilla never once thought about himself. The only thing that he thought about was the safety and welfare of his students and his colleagues. And for that, we will always be grateful.